What's going on, world? DS1 Bros. I'm back. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the regime. Peace to everybody. I'm back with another episode on Sheep Stay Sleep Live. Sheep Stay Sleep podcast. And we here, family. So today we're gonna have a nice conversation. You know, you know how I like to do. I like to have, you know, practical conversations with the fam, you know, because like I always say, you gotta heal before we build, y'all. So we gotta have these types of conversations, you know? So today we're gonna talk about tough love, man. That's what we're gonna deal with today, y'all. We're gonna deal with tough love. What happened to the tough love? I don't see a lot of that no more in society. Tough love, man. What happened to it? I think now, man, it's just a lot of weak people, you know. It's a lot of weak people in society, a lot of weak-willed people, a lot of conformists, you know, i.e. ass kissers, you know, people who just want to be accepted by everybody. See, when I was growing up, it was about being different. It wasn't about being who they say you should be, you know, dressing the way they say you should dress. You know, when I was young, we still had originality, you know. It's like now everybody's a carbon copy of something else. You know, it's no more originality. And that's because I believe there's no tough love, man. You know, there's no more actually raising of our children. Our children is just growing up now. They're not really being raised anymore. And I think that comes from the tough love being missing, you know. And a lot of us could say it's because their fathers are not around or there's no, you know, prominent male figures. And, you know, we could say that, you know, we can go with that. But, you know, I'm not I'm not gonna use that as an excuse on why tough love isn't shown in it anymore. Because see, my mother was tough. She's still tough to this day. And she never made no excuses. And she always taught me to never make excuses, you know, because my mother's the type of woman that never liked a man to make excuses. So growing up, she never allowed that. She never allowed me to just put one foot forward. I had to put both of my feet forward and I had to do my best. You know, my mother taught me these things just as well as my dad. So growing up, that's what I got. I got tough love, you know? And I think tough love is what gives you a solid foundation in life. See, when you have your parents teaching you that life is what you gonna make it and not what somebody gonna make for you, see, that's when you understand and get a grip on life early. You become you be, you become an entrepreneur just by nature because you're taught not to depend on nobody. You see? So tough love built good character back then. You know, that's why a lot of the youth had a lot more respect back then also, because they received tough love, you know. And when I say tough love, I'm not just talking about, discipline. A lot of times we think tough love is just disciplining our children, a spanking every once in a while or something like that. I'm not talking about that. What I mean by tough love is by being on your child's back, by making sure they do good in school. Not good, but well, exceptional. See, I'm hard on my boys. I'm hard on them. But I'm hard on them because I know what the world have in store for them. See, this is the purpose for tough love, because it gets you ready for what's out here. And as conscious folks, we have to get our children ready for what's out here. You understand? We can't play around and paint these false narratives for our children. We have to let them know the real and be raw and uncut. See, that's me. I'm raw and uncut with my boys. You know, I always let them know to check their character, you know, and I check it for them when they out of line. See, I believe a lot of that was lost over time. See, over time, parents became these children friends and not their parents. You see? See, I'm friendly to my children, but they're not my friends. You see? See, when we got caught up in that, I want to be my child's friend stuff, that's when the tough love disappeared. And that's when the respect disappeared from the children. Because see, when I grew up, you knew the kids who experienced tough love in their household. They had respect. They knew how to act, you know? Their behavior was on point. They respected elders. They held the door. They did certain things. They didn't allow other adults who knew their parents to see them doing certain things, to hear them cursing. I used to sneak and do stuff because I knew what type of parents I had. My parents ain't play that shit. All that goofing off and being a clown, that was not for me. And my parents let me know early, that's not gonna be you. You're not gonna be no clown. That's not gonna be you. You see? I had to do chores as a young boy. And I had to do them well. I couldn't half-ass do nothing. I couldn't half-ass pass my classes. I couldn't half-ass do my homework. I couldn't half-ass wash the dishes, clean the bathroom, take out the garbage, clean my room. See, most of these children nowadays don't even have chores to do. The parents go to work and clean the house. See, when I was young, the kids cleaned up the house. You see? And see, me, I'm an only child, so I was only responsible for my room and cleaning the bathroom and taking out the garbage. Those were my chores. But see, when I used to go to my friend's house, that's how I knew a lot of them received tough love too, because they had to clean up the house. Their mother wasn't cleaning up, you know? Their mother wasn't putting away the groceries. That was the children's responsibility. You see? See, tough love also teaches your children to be responsible because all of these things is part of it. And see, these things build character. See, when you're young, you think your parents just being hard on you. You know, especially when you're the only child too. You really think your parents is just being hard on you. But they're not. They're arming you with things that you're gonna need in life. See, if I wasn't told to make up my bed and learn how to make up my bed, I wouldn't know how to make up my bed right now. And there's a lot of grown ass men that cannot make up a bed. There's a lot of grown ass men that cannot wash clothes, cannot fold clothes, cannot cook. And you know what those men say? Oh, men not supposed to do that shit. Shit. My father made sure I learned all that stuff, and my mother. My dad taught me how to cook. I didn't learn how to cook with my mother. All my teenage life, I lived with my pops. He taught me how to cook. He taught me how to iron, wash clothes. My mother taught me how to wash dishes, how to scrub things and stuff like that. See, I was taught those things. And see, this is why I tell my sons they're going to have to learn these things too, because I asked my dad, why did I have to learn these things when I was younger? You know what he told me? He told me, you might get with a woman who don't know how to cook. You might get with a woman who don't know how to wash your clothes the way you like them. You may get with a woman who don't know how to clean correctly. So you may have to do it. So this is what I explain to my sons. Don't think cleaning and cooking is a female duty. That's not gender specific. You see? And I make sure they do it. My son make his own bed up. I make him make his own bed. I make him clean up after himself. And I be hard on him with it. When he forget, there's a penalty. Because this is going to build character for him later on. Suppose he want to live the bachelor life and he want to deal with more than one woman. You can't have a dirty ass house. This is what I explained to him. You can't have your drawers in the middle of the floor. You can't have your socks everywhere. You got to know how to wash your clothes. You got to know how to fold your clothes. You got to be neat, organized. You see? See, these things build character in our children. So when your child go to a job interview or something, they notice certain things. You see, our children is far behind because we didn't teach them the basics. They don't even know. A lot of these children don't even know how to wash their clothes. They don't know how to wash correctly their bodies. They're not taught things. And that's because a lot of us as parents took out that tough love aspect. And I understand why, because a lot of our parents got tough love. but they got tough love in another way. You know, they deemed it as being abused. So when they had us, they lightened up on us. Over generations, we lightened up more and more on our children until we lost control of them. You see, when we were supposed to be disciplining our children, now we got police officers doing it. When we supposed to police our households first. See, the parents is supposed to be the first police officers that their children come in contact with. You see? But we not doing that no more. We not policing our homes. We are our children's friends now. You got the women out here running around with their daughters like they girlfriends, meeting dudes online together, partying together. That make that girl lose respect for her mother, because when are you her mother? You her girlfriend 98% of the time, 2% of the time you her mother. You only want to be her mother when she do something you don't like. She do something you don't agree with. Now you want to pull, I'm your mother. But you ain't her mother no other time. You didn't teach her about sex. You didn't teach her about what type of guys to look, to look for, and who to look past. You didn't teach her that. You let her roll through life and make all the mistakes you made. And just been there for her like a friend and not like a mother. Then we wonder why these young girls don't respect their mothers. Because their mothers is not their mothers anymore. The fathers are not being fathers anymore. We want to come in and act like the homeboy. My sons are not my homeboys. They are my sons. Do I talk to them like my homeboys every once in a while? Sure. But I always let them know who daddy is. That, see, that can never be lost. So I have to always remain in that position and come from that posture when dealing with my children. Now, see, I'm not telling nobody how to deal with their children. So nobody, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to everybody that came through and that's showing me love. I don't want nobody in it that's tuning in right now to think that I'm trying to tell them how to raise their children, because I'm not. But I'm just speaking on something, an aspect that went on at a certain point in time in society that built certain types of adults. See, we living in a weak society now with a bunch of passive aggressive people, emotionally unstable people, because the tough love is gone. You know, a little boy fall now, y'all want to take him to the damn hospital because he scraped his leg. He got a little cut on his face. The mom's is having a fit. Oh no, not my son. Not my son. All right, so what happens when he grow up and he get into a fight and he get punched in his face and his nose bleeding? He gonna run to mommy. Mommy, my nose is bleeding. Tough love, man. You get up. You bleeding? Let's go clean that up. That ain't nothing but a scratch. See, these kids are not being raised like that now. Any little mishap, mommy want to call the ambulance. Any little disagreement, daddy want to come and act crazy. See, we're not teaching our children right. The aspect of tough love is gone. It's gone. We're not even raising our children no more. We're not. We're letting society raise our children. We just watching our children grow up and just paying for them. We're not raising them. Because what are they learning from us? Ask yourself that if you a parent. What is my children learning from me? What are they learning from me? And if you can't answer that, that's a problem. You see? Why do my children love me? Do I give them a reason to love me? You see? Do they believe that I care about them? See, when you grow up and you receive tough love, you grow up and realize that that's what it was all about. See, it's all about love, but it's tough love because I'm teaching you something. And everything you learn in life, it's not going to be easy. You see? And that's what we got to teach our children. We have to input the intangibles in our children, like effort, like discipline, like ambition, determination. A lot of these kids are just lazy. They don't want to do nothing with their life. They just want to sit back and let their parents pay for their life. And that's because they're not being raised with that put in them. And the way you instill certain things in your children is through test, through battle. You test your child's effort. You test your child's discipline. You test your child's listening. You test them. Because that's going to show you whether they have it in them or not. What you need to work on with them. You see? We have to stop spoiling our children too. See, a lot of us grew up and we didn't have much. So now we parents, we want to, just throw everything at our children. We have to stop that. See, we have to start teaching our children something called incentives. When you do things, you get this. Incentives. And see, you have to work to get an incentive. And this is what we have to set up for our children. You don't just get a new video game. You don't. You're going to have to show me something to get a new video game. And it's not always grades or you did this little project and you got a good grade. It's not always that. Sometimes we have to reward our children for good grades. We have to, because that's going to encourage them to keep doing better. But we can't only reward them for that, because then they're going to think that that's what going to school is all about. They're going to equate education with getting gifts, when education is the gift. You see? So we can't shower our children with gifts because they pass in school. You have to do that. You're not passing school for me. You passing school for you. If you don't do good in school, that don't affect me. That affects you. Because you're the one that's going to grow up in life and be a have-not and not know how to think. See, that's my thing. I deal with the intangibles with my son, with both of them. See, when I ask for answers, it's going to come with an explanation. You're not going to just tell me yes or no. You're going to tell me why. That's me. I want to know why. And see, if you can't answer the why part, then you lying about the other shit. Because why shows intent, purpose. Why did you do what you do? Don't just tell me what happened. Why did you do it? And see, that gets to the source of the problem. That's tough love. See? Don't just tell me, oh, you forgot. Because that's bull. I don't go for shit like that. You didn't forget. And see, when you get to the root of the issue, a lot of times these children just don't want to do shit now because they've been spoiled. Because they look out in society and they see everything is being handed to them. Even things that you pay for. Look at all the services and stuff you can get. Look at the new products. Everything is convenience. You know, they make toilets where you ain't gotta wipe your ass. You just press a button and shoot water out. You know, our children is living in that type of world. They're living in a microwaved world. So they want everything instantly. Instant success. Instant maturity. Instant money. Because this is what society has become. We live in a microwave society. So a lot of our parents stop looking at teaching our children the intangibles. We just teach our kids the tangible stuff. You got to go to school because you got to get a job because you got to get money to pay your bills. And that's what we focus on now. We don't focus on the thought processes of our children and really honing in on what they know how to do. A lot of us don't even know what our children know how to do. Right now, at the age your child is at, I'm not talking about when they 18, 19. I'm talking about at the age they're at now. What are they good at doing? What is their strongest subjects in school? Do they have any skills outside of school? Do they know how to build things? Can they concentrate? You know, things like that. See, those are the things that you work on when you're dealing with tough love. You see, you deal with your child's confidence. A lot of our children is going through things in school. Children are a lot more malicious nowadays. Not only do they crack jokes, but they hit people. They try to hurt kids. How are we arming our children for that? Because combat is just not a physical thing, it's a mental thing. A lot of these kids are not even tough. They just talk shit. So how do you arm your child with that? You see? And how do you help them overcome things? Because see, what our children don't understand is that the world may look instant to you, but all that shit you think is instant and at your fingertips, you're gonna have to work for. And what a lot of these generation of children don't understand is that you're gonna have work ethic. You're gonna have determination. You're gonna never have to give up. And certain things you're gonna you're gonna not like doing, you know? But see, a lot of these children, they don't want to hear that shit. And that's because they haven't had tough love. Because tough love gonna tell you, listen, this is what it is, this is what I gotta deal with. A child without tough love is gonna say, man, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm gonna just do what I want to do, and whatever happens, happens. No direction. You see? So I feel like tough love is very important. It's a key component that's lost in the household. And ladies, you can show tough love too to your children. Stop thinking it's a masculine thing, because it's not. If you're not the parent to exemplify that, because you have to be strong, you know, you have to be able to withstand things too in order to teach this. So I understand that sometimes the woman may take the approach that it's too hard. But see, I don't go for that anymore. I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that. Because then that goes back to women being the weaker vessel. And I don't believe that. I don't believe the woman is the weaker vessel. I just believe that women have been socialized into thinking that they cannot control situations because they're emotional. They've just been socialized to believe that. Women are very strong. My mother's a very strong woman, very headstrong. And she was taught by other women to be that way. So I don't want to hear that that's a man's job. I don't want to hear that, because it's not. It's no excuse for you to treat your son like a girl. It's no excuse. If you saying that there's weak ass dudes out here in the world, then why would you allow your son to be one of them weak ass dudes? Men, if you saying it's a bunch of whorish women in the world, then why would you not be around to make sure your daughter don't become a whore? And I'm not talking about just giving her money and buying her shit. Because see, I know a lot of girls who turned into whores because of that. Because they was used to being showered with gifts. So that's how they get caught up with the drug dealers and the killers. And end up being somebody's baby mama instead of somebody's wife. You see? So we can't just shower our daughters with gifts. We got to shower them with jewels. We got to let them know what men really like. And what she should be aspiring to be for a man, not a boyfriend. You see? When I have a daughter, I don't want to hear you got a boyfriend. You don't need a boyfriend. You don't need a boyfriend. Don't worry about boyfriends. Do something with your life, and then a man will find you. I'm not with that boyfriend shit. Oh, this is my boyfriend. You just some clown nigga that's trying to play games. See, I'm going to tell my daughter about all that. I'm going to give her the game, the raw game too. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give her the raw, straight out daddy's brain and heart. I'm not going to put no sugar on it. I don't care if it tastes like vinegar. I don't care. See, we became our children's friends and cut tough love out because we don't want our children to swallow that harsh pill of life. But see, what we got to understand is that this generation, they want that. They want the harsh realities because then they know what to look forward to. See, a lot of my friends and people that grew up in my generation, our parents put the blindfold over our eyes about life. They didn't want us to know how hard it was for them and how hard it would be for us. So they played down a lot of shit. You know, they watered down a lot of shit. And then when me and a lot of my friends turned a certain age and we start realizing that our parents couldn't be there no more, and they always said that they would, that's when shit started to change for us. And see, I don't want my sons to go through that. So I give them the real now. So when you get a certain age, you're not expecting things. Because nothing in this world or nothing in this life is guaranteed. And that's what we got to tell our children. We can't say, I'm a do this for you for the rest of your life, because I probably can't. You see? This is why we got to deal with things in practicality. This is why. And this is why tough love, man, is very, very important, man. It's very important. Like I said, tough love gives you that foundation, that solid foundation that a lot of the youth nowadays don't stand upon. They don't have a foundation. They don't have a set of principles, a set of instructions, a guideline. And this is why the youth is out of control, because we won't show them tough love. We want them to smile with us. Nah, I want you to cry because I want you to wipe your eyes and do better. See, ain't nothing wrong with crying. See, we don't want our children to cry no more. We don't want them to feel pain and struggle and resistance. We want shit to just be free and easy. We got to stop that, because that's not what this shit is about. And we know that. So let's cut the falsifying information out. Let's stop falsifying the information to our children. Stop putting a wall over their eyes, man. Pissing on them and telling them it's raining. We got to stop that shit, man. These are our children. Our children need us. But the first thing they need us to do is to keep it real. To keep it 1,000. To show them what love is. You can't buy love. See, that's what the youth think now. The youth think it's all about buying something. They think it's all about money. They think it's all about what you could pay for, what you can afford. But see, what we got to teach them is that they can't afford to not understand what goes on in life. See, you can't afford that. See, that's priceless. You see? Ain't no price tag on that. There's no price tag on life. You can't pay for lessons in life. You're going to have to learn them. And it's best for your children to learn them early, so you don't grow up and be lost. Because that's when you let people take you down roads and journeys you don't want to be, or you should have never been. But see, when you grow up without a foundation, you're not sturdy. You're not a sturdy individual as an adult. This is what we gotta understand that. So what do you think it's gonna be for our children? Donald Trump is the president. He's gonna be the president for the next 8 years, whether we like it or not. And that's just that. And we just gonna have to deal with that, y'all. So what are we gonna do? How are we going to arm ourselves to deal with this shit? Because as we can see, he's doing everything to affect society. So now, what is the message that we bring to our children? So do we still do this dilly-dally bullshit with our children? When we got a open redneck white supremacist in office? Do we still think that that will benefit our children? Lying to them, telling them they could be anything in this world. Lying to them, telling them that the American dream is part of their life. Painting this false narrative. Do we really think that's going to be beneficial for our children, for our family? What do you think lying's going to do? What do you think painting this false narrative is going to do to our children? What type of adults are they going to grow up and become without tough love? Ask yourselves that. What are they going to grow up and become as individuals? See, too many times when we're asked, who are you? We start naming what the fuck we do for a living. You're not your job. You're not your job. Who are you? See, your child should be able to answer that. And when somebody asks them who they are, they don't start saying, oh, I'm a college graduate. I graduated from Harvard and I got a BA in business. That's not who the fuck your child is. That's not who none of us are. You see? Tough love is going to teach your children who they are from the inside, what they can withstand. You see? We out here living through society's labels. I'm a wife of 3. I work at such and such and such. I drive this kind of car. These are the responses when people ask people who they are. You see? And this is why Black people don't have a culture. We've lost our culture because we lost tough love. What do you think the rites of passages were? Tough love. Rites of passages in these other countries, a young boy gonna have to go in the jungle. That's rites of passage. That's tough love. And if you don't make it, get up and keep going. They're not gonna let you quit. See, we gotta stop doing this shit, family. We done got soft shoe with our children. We done got soft shoe, man. And this is why they're losing the love and respect for us, man. This is why the children are quick to disrespect adults. Because they're not being taught the importance of respecting older people. See, those are the intangible things that I was talking about earlier. See, you can't pay for that. You can't pay for respect. You can't pay for dignity. You can't pay for humility. See, we can't pay our children to have those things. Nor could they grow up, get a job, and pay for it. They don't sell humility in a store. You know? You can't go buy a pound of discipline from BJ's. You can't do it. So shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody. Glad y'all came through. You know, I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and y'all come through and y'all give me y'all, you know, perspectives on tough love. You know, do y'all think tough love is beneficial to our families? Has it helped, or has it hurted the Black family? You know, what has it done for us? Has it helped or hurt us? You know, a lot of women, you know, they don't even believe in spanking their children anymore. A few of my friends say they don't spank their children. Hey, to each his own. But when they 15, 16 and they jump up in your face and tell you what they not gonna do, like I tell them, don't catch a case. Don't catch a case. You can't feed that. You can't feed that disease, man. You know, we can't do that. Then the monster be running around in your house, and he's your child, or she's your child. Now she's running the house. He's running the house, but can't take care of themselves. You see, family? So I put the link in the chat. Anybody that want to come through, you know, y'all come through and let y'all voice be heard, man. Peace to Jazzy. Peace to I Light. Peace to you, bro. Shout out to Jade. What's up, sis? Men of respect and home training have been going to the wayside. That's a fact. And you know why? Because we stopped doing things in our home too. You know, I remember we used to eat Sunday dinner, where the family come and eat Sunday dinner together. See, a lot of those things are gone because of that tough love that's not there anymore. You got to teach a little boy how to have manners. Because if you don't, he'll run around and be rough around the edges. He a boy. You got to teach a little girl to have manners, or she'll grow up and be loose. Not teaching that no more. So that's why, you know, Jazzy, it's by the wayside. This is the parents' fault. We can't keep blaming society. We can't. We can't keep saying, oh, it's this, it's that, it's this. No, it's you. It's the parents. If you don't have no control over your children, that's your problem. You can't blame nobody else. Blame yourself. Blame yourself. See, I don't blame society why the youth is out of control. I blame these parents who spoil these goddamn kids. Because that's what we do too. We spoil our goddamn kids. And then wonder why they grow up and don't got no respect for you. Because you ain't teach them nothing. See, when you tell a child no, they want to know why. See, when I tell my son no, my youngest son, you know, he say, why, Dad? Why? And I tell him why. And guess what? Sometimes there is no explanation. It's because I said no. You see? But these children nowadays, you can't tell them no. You tell them no, they'll have a goddamn fit. They'll start throwing stuff. See, and that's because of the lack of discipline. And that comes from the lack of discipline on a parent's behalf too. Because parents got to have discipline when it comes to giving things to your child. You can't just feed your kid every goddamn thing. Then they become greedy. Then they become thieves. Because then when they can't get something, they'll take it. So, you know, oh, I see I got two people. Peace to the family. What's up, Jay? You first, sis.
Peace, DS1. How are you?
I'm good, sis. How you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm relaxing.
No doubt.
But
What you
I
think of the
like the
topic?
topic. No, I like it. I really do like it. Because I mean, even now I'm 18. As much as I'm a legal adult, my mum told me when I was like maybe 10. She was like, "We're not going to be friends until you're 21." And that's what she told me. She means that. Like she said, We're not friends until then. So she's always been like a tough love parent, always. So I can definitely relate to it. And it's kind of weird, like in school and stuff. Like you see how people they treat their parents, they speak to their parents, and I think like I could never get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way they cuss their parents out. Or I remember one time I was starting a new school, and we're going there first day. Me and my mum were going there first day, and you won't believe what we saw outside. Some kid had got angry at his mum and punched her in the nose, blood everywhere.
Whoa.
I think I might have been about, yeah, I was about 8. And my mum was like, "What the hell kind of school did I just send my child to?" But he punched his mum right in the nose. Blood everywhere, all over the pavement, all over the railings. Her face was just so bloody. And it's not like, she didn't really do much to him. She just told him what he didn't want to hear. But because she hasn't got that kind of control on him, he feels that he can lash out and punch her in the nose. Like to me,
Mm-hmm.
if I ever raised, the only time I could say I've ever raised my hand to my mum is like if she's gonna whip me with a belt and I try and block it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I wouldn't. I don't have the intention. Like it would never cross my mind to do that. And if you do raise your hand to try and block the hit, then she'll just come back and whip you even harder. And then she'll say that you tried to fight her. So people just don't have that grip on their kids anymore. You don't have that kind of control. Like you shouldn't even have to raise your hand. You should be able to like look at your kid in a way, and they'll know I better stop what I'm doing, or I should just do as she says.
Mm-hmm. So why do you think a lot of parents don't have that control anymore? Because I hear a lot of parents say, "Oh, it's the TV, um, it's the schools, it's the teachers not teaching them stuff." I hear a lot of conspiracy theories and bullshit excuses. That's what I call them. So why do you think that's not there anymore?
Oh, I would say the schools, but schools in terms of so like for instance, when I was at school, let's say that you came into school crying. The
Mm-hmm.
teachers are gonna know what's wrong with you. You're gonna say, "I had an argument with my parents, and I'm upset," as you would be. What the teachers will then do is say, "You need to speak to the school counselor." The school counselor speaks to you. They take a bunch of notes and then they report it to social services or the police, and they will send police around your house. So the parents, they obviously don't want that. They don't want to have police coming in and out of their house because neighbors are going to see it and it's embarrassing. So they have to change their tactics. Not all, but this is some of them. Some of them have to change their
Wow.
tactics. So it's like basically things are way too intrusive these days, and it's like you can. I think with the whole being politically correct and if your kid's crying, they've got depression or there must be something wrong with them, kind of thing. People are just way too soft. Like to be honest, it's gonna sound weird coming from my age, but people my age shouldn't really have much of a say when it comes to stuff, especially with your parents. I had to appreciate, like my mom would just tell me, like you don't have a say. Like parents just don't tell their kids what it is from the beginning until it's too late. So when you're talking to your kids and you're explaining things to them, it's like it's not going to register because it was never there to begin with. But the schools have a
Right.
lot of power. That's what it is. But not in terms of just the school itself. It leads to law enforcement and things like that.
That was a good point. Good point, sis. Sarah. Peace, bro. So,
Peace,
yeah,
peace and light. Can you hear me? I was on mute. Hello?
yeah, we can hear you, bro. Peace.
Oh, peace and light, DS1 and Jade in the chat room. Um, what I truly think is that the system has really gotten a whole lot worse. And it's the electronics and all of that has a lot to do with everything now. Like when I grew on up, nothing got taken away from me but like a phone, my phone, you get punishment for not being able to use the phone. I'm talking about just the house phone or your bike. You can't ride your bike or you got extra chores. But nowadays, and you was able to get whipped. Nowadays, you can't even really hit your kid. You hit your kid, or if they go to the school, like Jade had said, if you go to school or anything, the counselors get involved. And nowadays, the reason why I brought up electronics, the cell phone. You hit your kid nowadays, the same cell phone you just gave your kid, they're gonna dial 911 on you, and now you got the police knocking at your door, and then you got social services and all of that other crap getting involved. It's the whole system that had changed that on up as far as us being able to physically punish our kids. But I didn't really want to hit my kid anyway because, hello? Oh no, somebody just joined the chat. I was
Yeah,
wondering
we
what
hear
that
you.
was. Oh, okay. So the reason why I didn't want to hit my kid was because, how can I put it? I took it like it was a form of slavery. It was like there are other ways you can discipline your child and make them. Once you start taking away their favorite electronics or like that, and you do it with a certain look, they already know when you give them that look that something is about to get taken away. You'll be surprised how much they love them freaking electronics. And when you buy your electronics, you don't buy just some dumb games. You buy them stuff that'll make them learn things. But they'll have so much fun learning and playing with the electronics that they will miss that little toy that they have gotten taken away from them. That was the reason why I didn't hit my kids, because it made me think as the master beat us for discipline, but that don't mean that now that we melanated beings that we have to discipline our children the same way. That was the only reason why I didn't beat my children and thought of another way to discipline them. And they came on out pretty good. They ain't never been to jail or anything like that. And I got whippings with a switch and been to jail. So it's not. It's. I think it's more about how you do things than what you're doing. And plus, on top of it all, we got too many kids having kids, and when kids have kids, they don't understand that they need to be an authority figure. Like they have to be. They want to be friends with the kid. There's a thin line between friend and authority. You have to know, hey, we could still get down. You could still talk to me about whatever is on your mind and all of that, and that's all cool in the gang. But what I say goes, and there's no talking back and all of that. If I understand that, that tough love and all of that, but just because I don't believe in whipping, because that's what Master did to us, that's the only reason why I had chose that route of disciplining my kids, of taking away their electronics. But that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna give whoever just checked on in a chance to elaborate on this.
Good looking out, Sarah. Boss, what's up, King?
What's up with it, bro? What's up, Jay? What's up, Saw? Man, this is a real good topic here today, because a lot of what we was talking about, anyway, um, a lot of what we was talking about is 100%. You know what I'm saying? See, see, my mom was kicking me and my brother's asses. We got the extension cord, the switch, and remember moms back in the day. Remember some mothers used to braid the damn switches. You know what I'm saying? And we was boys, so of course we had to be, the punishment had to be a little bit more harder because we was boys. My pops, he really was never the type to whoop dudes. You know what I'm saying? My pops was the type that he could whoop your ass with his words. You know what I'm saying? So, it's too much of, these parents, they want to be their kids' friends. They in the same bar and clubs with them. Hell, you got some of these parents, they messing around with kids that they kids graduated with, went to school with. You know what I'm saying? It was real crazy. I think they should have, it's probably too late now, but they should have never took that paddle out of the school because now it's too easy to, get suspended. It's so easy to get suspended. Your principal tell you I'm suspending you. Oh, okay, cool. I don't care. Versus when your principal said, look, I can either suspend you for 5 to 10, from 3 to 5, or you could take this, you know what I'm saying? You could take this crack. And a lot of parents got to, bitching and complaining about that. I graduated in 2000. You know what I'm saying? So, I come from that last, era of when the parents actually did their things on the kids. You know, these days, um, young kids, these parents don't even listen to the type of shit that they kids are listening to. You know what I'm saying? They let their kids walk around, do whatever they want to do. I remember back when I was 23. I had my own crib. I had bought my first lack and everything. I'm a man. So I'm gonna smoke this blunt with Pops when he come over to the crib. So we sitting there chilling and he been blowing since blowing. And we sitting at my spot and we sitting there and we talking about life. And I'm smoking. And when I went to go pass Pops the blunt, he wanted to fight a nigga. You know what I'm saying? He flipped out like, yo, I ain't your motherfucking friend. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, don't play me like that. What you doing? That's exactly how he was talking to me. And I'm looking at him like, well, damn, Pops, you know, I'm out here on my own. I'm doing good. I'm doing my thing. I'm a man now. But to him, me being grown and being on my own, that shit didn't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? You still gonna put some respect on my name, boy.
Exactly.
I mean, bro, literally, I went to pass him the blunt. He looked at me and flipped. You know what I'm saying? So, and at that point, I had to say, like, well, damn, I guess I ain't so grown as I think I am. So, I know a lot about that.
That's real, bro. That's real. Cause shit, when I first started smoking, I was scared to even tell my pops. And I was smoking years before my pops even found out. And when he found out, he was like, yo, why you ain't never come tell me? Cause see, my pops was the type too. He'll he'll have me feeling like I got my ass whooped just from a conversation. So my pops was like that too with his words. But my mom's, she ain't gonna do too much talking. So I definitely feel that. And to this day, even though my mom's whooped my ass the way she did, I never looked at her in no ill form or fashion. like these children do now. Like these kids be killing their parents
The
because,
Menendez.
yeah, they be killing their parents because they parents embarrassed them in school or some shit. I remember one day I was acting up in school. My mom just came to the school and pulled me out my seat, pulled me in front of the class and said, if this teacher call me again and tell me you can't keep your motherfucking mouth shut, I'm gonna whoop your ass in front of the whole class.
Right.
Bro, I was in 5th grade when she did this. And when I got home, I got put on punishment because my mother had to leave work early.
Right.
Like,
Woo.
see, this is the type of shit that's not being done no more. You know, we a lot of these parents, you're on punishment. He on punishment for 40 minutes. He, you tell him not to touch the video game. He in the backyard shooting hoops though. He down the block riding his bike though. He can't play the game, but he outside riding his bike. Like
Right.
I used to get put on punishment, bro. When my mom's take me to her homegirl's house and she got her kids, you on punishment. Like it was that
Right.
real. I was on punishment outside the house. Real shit. Now it's like these kids don't, there's no consequences for anything, man. And I feel like that's why our children is being murdered in the street. Trayvon Martin was not supposed to be walking to no fucking store by himself. I don't care where he live at. But see, that come from having loose ass parents. That cost him his life. I couldn't start walking to the store by myself till I was till I was like, what, 11, 12? And that's because we had a corner store. The store was on a corner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what I look like letting my son walk to 7-Eleven, 9 o'clock at night. That's loose parenting, man. And that's just my opinion. I feel like if his pops ain't let him go to the store by himself, he'd have still had his son. You know?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know, like like the Menendez brothers. The most spoiled ass brothers and shit. Kill your parents. What? Because they said you couldn't watch Beverly Hills 90210 that night.
Exactly.
Because they told you that you couldn't watch the Nickelodeon show, or are you afraid of the dark?
Mm-hmm.
You know, too many parents doing shit in front of their kids. Like I said in the chat earlier, I remember when my mom and pops would, when they company would come over, the kids better run to the opposite room.
Facts.
And you bet not open up that door and come in unless you was told to.
Mm-hmm. You better not keep going to the bathroom or you're gonna get your ass whooped. Because now you being nosy.
Right. Or remember the other one. Remember when you got smacked in your mouth by sitting and looking at somebody in theirs?
Yeah. Yeah. You sitting there all in their mouth while they talking.
Right.
That don't happen no more, bro. That's why these boys are growing up effeminate. Because they sitting around all these women, his mother and her homegirls, all in their mouth.
Right.
Real shit, bro.
Real talk, bro. Like, I don't remember, my parents, they hung out, and stuff like that. But I don't never remember them coming home. My pops talking about, oh, I had to shoot at this nigga, or I had to knock this nigga the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Or mom's talking about I had to drag this bitch by her hair, or I had to whoop this bitch ass. Them the type of conversations we never heard coming in the house. These days these kids can tell you what the name of the bar and clubs that they parents go and hang out at.
Facts. Facts. I didn't even know my dad smoked weed till I started smoking weed. And I
Right,
start
bro.
and I start putting shit together, bro.
Right. You always smell that funny stinking ass smell, but you a kid. You don't know that pops downstairs. He burning little leaves or some shit. Then you grow up. You know. I remember that Crown Royal bag in the cupboard that you bet not touch. You better not even knew it was there. You better not knew it was there. You getting your ass whooped for touching the Crown Royal bag and for knowing that it was there.
Mm-hmm. You better act like you won't see it.
Right. So many things, so many rules, you know, but at the end of the day, too, a lot of the way the parents are, the kids are, you blame the parent. But at the same time, in some situations, you know what I'm saying? A lot of parents, bro, they did the best they could for their kids. They tried to raise their kids up the best way they could. And, a lot of kids just went their own way. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
How many kids on drugs and even older people on drugs that came from good homes?
Good point. Good point.
It's crazy.
You want to touch on that, Jay? I see you had unmuted a while ago.
Touch on what?
Just to give a little more context to the argument, because I saw you had unmuted yourself, so I thought you wanted to say something.
Oh, well, I'm. I mean, I'm not definitely out of being a teenager yet, but like, I mean, it's just about having that kind of thing there from the beginning. Like I always say, it starts at home and starts from the beginning. So like when you can, like you reach the age where you can finally remember that you understand stuff. Like you can
Right.
remember sitting down and talking with your parents, and your parents will tell you, right, this is the rules. This is what happens when you break the rules, and then you have to be consistent with it. Not just like there's one reaction for this and one reaction to that, because there are some parents that will do that. Like they have a different reaction for the same kinds of things. So you send your kids mixed messages, and then they don't know how to react to stuff. So when you do actually discipline them, they reject it, and then that's where you get people that like they kill their parents and stuff.
Mm,
Because they've always had these mixed messages. It's like, oh, I want to be the disciplinarian parent. I'm going to try it, and then the minute that you take away their laptop or their Xbox or whatever, and then the kids turn around and kill you because
mm.
you spoil them too much, or you're trying to be too friendly, or you're gonna make them an adult when they're 18. Like you're gonna say, right, as soon as you're 18, you're an adult, even though you're not mentally an adult. Definitely not mentally an adult. So you're trying to grow your kids up too quickly. And it's not even up to 18. People are doing this from way before 18, even before they hit double digit age.
So, do y'all believe there's a such thing called healthy fear?
Oh, definitely. I've got a
Yep.
healthy fear of my mum.
Okay.
I mean,
Because I,
the healthy fear should be something like it'll be like a litmus test. Like all you have to do is you do something wrong. All your parent has to do is just look at you a certain way, and you get that cramp in your stomach, and that should tell you like whether or not you have the healthy fear. If you don't get that cramp in your stomach, to me, you don't have a healthy fear. They shouldn't even have to raise their voice. They should be able to just look at you. and you should know, okay, you're stepping way out of your boundary.
Okay, okay. Cause when I was young, my dad, I used to always hear him say that. And like with him, I always knew I had a healthy fear because he only spanked me one time my whole life. And that's because I set the garbage can on fire. And now I'm a parent. I'm a definitely whoop my child ass. He set the garbage can on fire. So, and after that, all my dad had to do was just talk to me. It's a simple conversation. But I asked that too because with my youngest son, he'll be running around all crazy, running around all crazy. As soon as he hear me come through the door or something, he'll just stop and look at me. And sometimes when I look at the look on his face, I'll be like, damn, he's scared of me. And then sometimes I'll be like, is that healthy fear? Or is that like fear? But I don't think it's the fear because he always come back around to me. He always, he's still lovable. He don't act nervous around me. So that's why I think it's healthy fear.
I don't
Because it's
think he's
like,
scared of you. No, that's not being scared.
yeah, it's just that I question myself sometimes. I don't think he's afraid of me either. I just question myself sometimes because sometimes I feel like I be too abrasive, because I don't, like I said, that's why I asked y'all is about healthy fear. Because I believe, it's two different types when you a parent. Sometimes you can actually scare your child where they're scared, but they think you're gonna hurt them. And then sometimes it's that fear of I don't want him to catch me doing something wrong or something like that. So I just think it's the healthy fear with him because he
Yeah,
don't he don't
that's
want
good.
dad to see him doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, see, that's good. Like when I was, well, even up to now, let's say I start thinking about doing something that I know I shouldn't do.
Hmm.
In the back of my head, I should always think, now, what would my mum say, or what would she do if she saw me do this? And then that makes me say, right, yeah, no, I shouldn't really be doing this. Like my friends, for instance, would say something like, oh, let's go. Why don't you stay out later? Stay out later than you should. And I'm like, because I have consequences. And that's the whole idea. Like, you should know your consequences. Know that if you do this, this is what's going to happen. And that's normal. That's absolutely fine. There's really nothing wrong with that. But that's what people don't like. That they're just being told like, oh, I should be able to do what I want, and I'm a teenager, so I'm young, and I should just be able to live. Or even they say like, my parents were able to do it, and now I can't. But we're living in different times than when our parents were younger.
Right.
Like I said to my mum, how come I can't? How come I can't skip school? Because she tells me,
Mm.
so, oh, I skipped school and did this, and it's like, oh, I never ever skipped a day of school, ever. Never ever skipped a day of school. But then she has to explain to me, times were different back then. And it's like people just ignore that times were different. So now that we're in times where if you skip school, they'll send the police to your house. Whereas back then, I guess it would be kind of harder to prove, like with lack of CCTV and stuff like that. Things change, and then when they do send police around, you can legally implicate your parents and stuff. But people don't explain that to their kids.
Exactly. And I think too, while a lot of things are not beneficial for the youth to do now, that even the youth of my generation was doing because the requirements has changed. See, back then you can pass and graduate with just minimum grades. Now the requirements is boosted up. So now when you take these state tests, you're required to get a certain grade. If you don't get that grade, you don't get a high school diploma. When I was in high school, All we had to do on our citywide exams, 5. So all you had to basically do was basically get an F, and you can graduate. Long as you get a 55 on all your state regents exams, you're gonna graduate. But after I graduated, see, I graduated high school in 2003. So after I graduated, they boosted the requirements up. Now all the children got to get a 65, and then 2 years after that, they raised it to a 70. So now the requirements in society, has heightened basically. So it doesn't make sense for a child to skip school, because at the end of the day, if you skip 2-3 days of school, you'll be damn near a week behind. Where before we could skip school, come back, get the notes, and we still doing the same shit. These teachers move on to topics like this now. They running through topics. They're not even giving your child enough time to really digest the information. So that's why too, I explain it this way to my son. Why is it not beneficial to goof off? Because in society, the requirements are harder now. You're not gonna get a job with just a high school diploma no more. When you get older, I told him the bare minimum requirements might be a bachelor's degree. So this is why I show that tough love when it comes to this, because they trying to weed our children out by raising the requirements, thinking our children can't survive, thinking our children ain't strong enough to withstand that shit. When our children are, we just gotta show that tough love and push them. But if we not
That's
gonna do
true.
that, but if we're not gonna do that, for one, we're gonna show society that our children are not worthy. And for two, when our children go out in the world and other children treat them as if they're not worthy, that's how they're gonna react. And this is why you see the youth doing what they're doing, because they don't think they're worthy of anything more, because we haven't pushed them towards anything better.
No, I can agree with you 100% on that. I can really agree. It's kind of weird what you said about basically they've made the requirements a lot higher. Over here they've actually made it lower. I just found that a bit weird. So now you can basically get like an F. So it goes A to F, and then you get a U, which is ungraded. And if you get a U, then you don't get anything. But you can get an F, and you're still finished with school. But it's still the whole like no tough love, and they get all the police and stuff like that involved. But people still skip school. But what you were saying about so pardon me, I'm distracted. What you were saying about sorry, come back to me. I'm distracted with something else. I'm sorry.
Okay. You want to touch on that, bro?
See, the thing about our kids is, our black kids, I'm just gonna sum it up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna make no long drawn out about it. Our black kids are now acting like white kids.
Mm.
The same disrespectful things and the same disrespectful shit that our kids say and do. White kids did that shit. Cussing out their parents, not listening, doing what the fuck they want, leaving and coming when the fuck they feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's white kid shit. That's white people shit. And our kids have turned into those kids.
Wow. So do you think we've turned into their parents? If they turned
Hmm.
into white kids, have the black parents turned into acting like white parents?
Some, because you still got them parents that let their kids do what they do, and just like you said earlier, when when they when they catch an attitude, then they want to beat their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When they get mad, then they want to say something to them. So I'll say half and half.
That's what I wanted to say. Sorry, before I got distracted. That that now the roles have reversed. Like black kids are being like white kids. It's really strange. Just the whole cussing your parents out, and I don't know. I haven't heard of any black children killing their parents yet over discipline and stuff like that. But I think it's probably going to head to that stage. You're going to hear about that kind of thing soon. But it's just about being like all buddy buddy with your children, like how white people are basically like and even then they don't really hit their kids. They're just more like you said, the you're on punishment. I'm gonna I'm gonna take away your PlayStation or whatever it is. They don't really do too much, but it's just like having all of that freedom, like like having your bedroom. Your parents come into your room whenever they want. It doesn't matter if you had the door shut. They don't have to knock. But now it's like your parents, they're not allowed to come. They have to knock the door, just like the whites do.
Mm. This is deep, y'all.
Yeah, because white parents, they knock at the door. They kids got them trained. They come in that room. God damn, Dad! Get the fuck out of here, Dad! You
And they don't do
invade my
nothing when they
privacy,
say that.
Dad!
They don't even do anything when they say that. If I say that to my mum, not even get the F out, but just get out of my room, and she's gonna come right into my room and probably slap me as hard as she can. And then
Exactly.
remind me who she is.
Right.
Like, I'm your mother. I'm not one of your little friends. You don't talk to me. There's a way that you talk to me and there's a way that you talk to other people. But remember, I'm your mother. This is my house. My name's on everything. I brought you here. And people just don't
Exactly.
seem to do that anymore.
You know what it is? I think it's a little bit of this too. We have made our children feel like it's a privilege to have them. See, when I was growing up, my pops used to tell me, listen, I love you, you my son, but I could have another one of you tonight. See, now these parents make these kids feel like, oh, it's a privilege to have you as my son.
Right.
And that fucks up the relationship dynamic because then the kids start feeling themselves and start thinking, oh well, if you're pleased with me being here, then you should cater to me.
Right.
And it builds a complex in these kids. And that's why you got the black kids today saying, you got to knock on my door now. Because we've made our children feel it's a privilege to have them. When y'all made the decision to have they little asses. And if it wasn't for y'all decisions, they won't exist. See, we don't talk to our children like that no more. We think that's being too harsh. But see, if you go in the animal world to the lions, let one of them little lions that's growing up step up to dad. He get his head ripped off. Or he get a paw across the face. His ass can't see what he eating or drinking for about a year. You see, we not taking that approach. Like Jade said, I'm your mother. Everything in this house belongs to me. The space you're in, I gave it to you. The body you in, I gave it to you. We don't speak like that to our children no more. We almost kiss their ass because they are our children when we
Right.
brought them here.
Right. You know, and I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but what I've came to conclusion that I noticed too, and this is not, this ain't about to turn into no we own women, black women type shit. This ain't what this is. But I've noticed a lot of single mothers um treat their children a certain type of way, spoil them and shit to make up for the father not being there.
Mm, that's big.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm
I think when
saying?
it comes, oh, sorry to interrupt. Sorry, no, go on, continue.
I just feel, some of that goes on too. Especially with boys. Because boys, you know, they act different when they around moms than when they around pops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You might talk that shit to moms, but you all you gotta do is smell pops cologne and you gonna be attention.
Mm-hmm.
And you gonna act like you ain't did shit,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But I know women where I'm from, my age, couple years older, that be in the bars and shit with their kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy. And they high fiving this shit like it's cool. You sit up and you see how some parents be really having conversation with their kids is if like they ain't their kids. Everything is gone. Back when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying? Parents held a certain type of statue. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, your last name meant everything. When people asked you who was your parents, who you kin to, and you say the last name, you neither got a smile and you got greetings or you got a frown. You know? Then, just like Jazzy said, she said she know children that's more responsible than their parents. A lot of that shit is going on too. You got a lot of parents living with their kids.
That's true.
You know, I got two daughters, 11 and 3. I mean, I don't believe in that once you 18 shit. I'm their father to the day I die. You can't once they get a certain age. I mean, they grown, but you still got to be there. You ain't got to be hovering over them, but your kids still gonna have to understand that they still got the same support, and that people around them got to understand that your kids still got their parents' support.
I
And
agree.
I got a long hair to me. Like I said, I got girls, so it's gonna be a certain type of issue put down. Too many fathers, and I'm gonna get on them fathers too. You know, them fathers who they daughters got boyfriends beating them up and shit. They might get into it with the dude a couple times, and then you know they get to saying, "Well, I'm just gonna stay out of it because she gonna still deal with it." Like I ain't having that shit with my daughters, bro. Like nah, because the situation going only gonna have it's gonna end. It's gonna get taken care of. So with that being said, I would rather my daughters be upset with me than for me to walk around with a fake ass attitude talking about I ain't getting in my daughter's shit no more because she gonna go back to him. Because I'm not gonna have to worry about my kids running back to no man. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it's gonna have to be.
And I respect that, bro. And that's definitely how it's gonna have to be. Our children gonna need counsel. So, you know, that's what we're gonna have to become. Even once they become grown, they still gonna need counsel. So what you
Is
want
it?
to say, Jay?
No, so I was just looking in the chat, but I was just reading. I don't know if you saw Surfing Tangent's comment about being kind of friendly with kids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking back to my experience. I have a younger cousin, and even though I think we're about 2 years apart, I still had authority over her. So basically, like if she ever got out of line with me or with anyone else while she was around me, like I had the right to discipline her. Because sometimes, okay, let's say that parents aren't always there or they're busy working. You always need someone that's responsible, who's older, that can still put them back into line as well, and they would respect it maybe a little bit more because you're of closer age.
I definitely agree with that because I'm teaching my oldest son, that he has to be a role model and a representation for his younger brother. So if you fucking up, your brother's gonna mirror that.
Right. Yeah,
And I,
that's what I was always told. I have to set the example, but at the same time, make sure that I keep myself disciplined and then discipline her as well.
exactly, exactly. So what I'll do is when my oldest son mess up or do something he ain't got no business, what I'll do is I'll tell my younger son, I'll say, look, this is what you should not be doing. And then I'll tell my older son, you see, this is why you should not be doing what you're doing because your younger brother's watching you. And if you think you can get away with it, he's gonna think he can get away with it. And y'all gonna think y'all could get away with doing the wrong shit. And this is why I think tough love is very, very important. It's imperative, man. With all these kids dying out here, we don't got no time to be playing around with our children, dilly dallying with them and shit. Don't got time for that. You know, I'm not afraid of CPS. Call them, call them, and then you know what I'm gonna tell them? Take that little motherfucker with you. Take him home, feed him, clothe him, and make sure he all right. If not, get the fuck away from my door. I'm not with all that. I don't care about all that. Because I know I don't abuse my kids. See, a lot of times these kids use this shit as a way to blackmail their parents. You can't blackmail me. Because I don't care about none of that. I'm not scared of none of that. And see, a
So
lot of
that's when
these
you have to talk to
parents are
them.
scared.
Sorry, DS1. Sorry.
Go ahead, sis.
No, I just want to say then that's when you have to tell them, like, you have to be careful what you say to people outside. My mum always told me from when I was like really small, you don't go talking business, you don't go talking business, you don't talk business. Because as long as you know that you're not being, as long as you know that you're not being abused, then there's nothing to talk about. You get, whatever happens at home is what stays behind those doors and between you and whoever else that was involved. That's it. Like, you don't need to be going out and talking to all these white people and talking to the teachers and the counselor. At the end of the day, if your parents just are hitting you for no reason and you really don't know why, then that's a problem. But if you know that you messed up, don't then go and tell your teacher and tell the counselor and then tell the school police what happened, because then you're gonna end up messing up your own life, and then that's gonna bring strife and tension between you and your parents even more. But you should tell them from when they're young. Not everything's everyone's business.
I agree. Because I was told that from young. Whatever happens in this house stays in this house. I definitely agree. But I think a lot of these parents are just afraid. And I think the children know that. The children know it when they dealing with, sissy ass parents. And they use things like that to blackmail them. Well, I'll just say you gave me a black eye. Kids, they watch shit and they internalize it and they try it out on you. Kids are highly intelligent. You just gotta let them know that this is a no-fly zone. You don't get away with bullshit. And to me, that's just the basis of tough love. By letting your kids know you're not gonna bullshit me ever. And I will never allow you to do it. Because if I allow you to bullshit me, that means I'm gonna let you go out in the world and do bullshit. See, this is why it's called tough love. Because I'm doing this to protect you. So you can know how to protect yourself. This is why I'm teaching you what I'm teaching you. So you can learn how to survive. But we not teaching that no more. We thinking that society is just gonna fit our perception of things, and shit'll always be to where we can kiss our kids' ass. See, when I was young, my dad used to tell me, son, it's not gonna always be this way. He told me that at different stages in my life, and he used to always tell me, we living high off the hog now, but it's gonna be a time where the tide's gonna be low. We not teaching our children that. We not teaching our kids, well, this month, children, we gonna have to cut back from eating out. We not teaching that. They not understanding that. And that's what's keeping a lot of Black families in debt. We're in debt through our expenses. You and your family going out every week to the movie theater. Y'all going to Olive Garden every week. Yeah, you and your wife make good money, but what about building something? What about investing your money? But see, that comes with tough love, teaching discipline, teaching them to be without. Yeah, it's there for you to get it, but you're not getting it now. See, that's how my parents raised me. I'm not saying you can't get it, you're just not getting it now. You know? And that taught me something about appreciation, appreciating what you do get. And it taught me something about earning things. See, our kids don't want to earn nothing. We don't make them earn. We don't make them earn. And we got to start doing that again, family, if we want to see some results. We talking about all this unity. We got to unify in our households first. Everybody in our households ain't on one accord. So how you gonna come outside your house and show some form of unity? Makes no sense. So I'm gonna throw the link out there again, family. You know, y'all come in, y'all render y'all voice on the topic. Unity love. What's up? Click the link, sis. Render your voice. Jazzy, put the damn phone down. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Do you understand what I said? Tell me. Yeah.
See, bro, another thing that's missing, you know,
What's up?
like I always say, we in a day and time where, doing wrong is the way of life
Mm-hmm.
because you only got one life to live, so you might as well just live it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's the bullshit that terms that we living in now. And see, well, a lot of the kids, you know, the parents ain't even taking their kids to church no more.
Mm.
They ain't even taking the kids to church no more. That's another problem. Us, our era, especially if you in your 30s, 40s, and up. When you was growing up, your grandparents, they had you at church. And that's a big thing that's missing.
That's true. That spiritual grounding.
These kids talk about being on fleek, but don't none of these kids know about being on fleek going to church Sunday for Easter.
Mm. Bro, these kids don't even believe the Bible real no more, bro. What the
They don't know what it look like because
nah,
it ain't the Bible ain't even in nobody's house no more.
that's true. With the resurgence of the Hotep nigga, they got everybody thinking the Bible is irrelevant. And that's the time that our youth is growing up in, where they think they don't need the Bible or any form of spiritual text.
I
And that's the
mean that
problem too.
you know the only religion they thinking about and they saluting is Little Wayne red rags, bedazzle red rags with skinny jeans.
Mm-hmm. Popping pills and sipping lean. Now everybody want to be Future with no future ahead of them. So yeah, family, this is a great topic, great show. You know, thanks to everybody for tuning in. I'm getting ready to close out. You got any closing statements, bro?
Oh, nah, I'm good, bro.
All right, salute. Jade, you got any closing statements, sis?
I think I'll just say, stop trying to be friends with your children. If you have to hit them, hit them. Because I don't believe in this whole, oh, I'm not going to touch them thing. But I think it works. It's worked for me. My mom didn't have to hit me lots, but it works. And just everything starts at home.
All right. Thanks for y'all input, y'all. Thanks for coming on the panel. You know, thanks for tuning in, everybody in the chat. You know, and my closing thoughts are, let's get it right. Let's stop saying what we need to do and let's start doing the basic things. And the basic things is teaching our children tough love, because tough love is going to help them build character, the correct character, you know, not the character of a rapper, not the character of an entertainer, you know, not the character of a reality star, a reality show star, rather. Let's implant the right things in our children. See, back in the day, the children were groomed to be leaders. Are we grooming our children to be leaders? You cannot do that being your child's friend. Like I said, I'm very friendly. I'm friendly. I'm not my child's friend. I'm friendly. So if we're going to build the future leaders of tomorrow, we have to bring back the tough love, family. Let's bring back the tough love. Bring back all the things that come with it, the discipline, the dedication, the determination. Let's bring it back, you know? And like sis said, even if you got to spank some ass every now and then, let's do that too. Because that brings things back to perspective with your children. And that also lets them know that you're not playing. Let's become the police in our homes, so our children don't have to be at the behest of the police in the street. So let's start policing our homes again, family. Even if it gets on their goddamn nerve, we have to police. We have to. Because we have to protect our children a whole nother way now. Because our children are out there and they're being slaughtered. And a lot of it is at the behest of faulty, loose-ass parents. And like bro said, I had to take that into account. Some of these children just decide to go the wrong way. And see, when a child decides to go the wrong way when they was raised to go the correct way, if they live through it, they'll come back to the right way. If they live through it, they'll come back to the righteous way of living. You know, that's in the Bible too. If you raise your child up the correct way with the teachings, they may stray away for a while, but eventually they'll come back. So that's today's early show. I should be back tonight, family. This is DS1 Ross. I will see y'all again later, family. Make sure y'all tune in. Y'all hit the like. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the little bell for all my future notifications. You know, y'all have a good day. Peace.